Hey everyone. Our sign is off.
Yeah.
We forgot to turn on the sign.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Starts well.
Missed opportunity.
Hi there.
But Ray, if you want, we can make a 45-minute delay. Up to you.
Ha.
Hello everyone. How is everybody? First time doing the stream? Is everything set up correctly? Let us know if not. Then we can change.
The idea behind all this is that Kolja and I pretty often, after works in the evening, sit together. Funny story for fun fact is I'm a wine drinker, a red wine drinker, so I normally have a glass of red wine, not tonight. Kolja is not drinking alcohol, so what are you drinking, water or Coke Zero? And we talk a little bit off records about sim racing, about the market, what's going on. And this is the direction we would like to do this format tonight with you. Share our ideas, share our thoughts, and of course answer all your questions. You can answer whatever you like, about whatever topic you like. There might be a few things we will not answer because we cannot tell or we don't know.
We try to answer what we can.
Absolutely. Good. And we do it in English, at least.
I mean, we'll
kind of English.
do some English in between for also our German community.
Ja, aber wenn ihr Fragen auch auf Deutsch habt, können wir auch nebenbei. Dann schmeißt die rein.
Background music is still going. Like I thought we do some music in the background. Let me know. If it's annoying, just tell me. We can also turn it off. But maybe besides our beautiful voices, some music is also nice. No, Tony, it's not off. It's just the next song is loading. But will you explain how the new SC3 connector operates and if a similar connectivity will come to other existing wheels? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Perfect stream quality. Great. Looking forward to seeing you next week in Dortmund, having and hoping to get a button box. Yeah, well then you're at the right place. We've got a beautiful button box with a beautiful software, so for sure check it out. It will be there plenty, so you'll for sure have a chance to try it out. Yeah, music is back. Luik, hi, how are you? Klaus, what's your background and how did you get into sim racing? Yeah, I mean that's a
good start, and we will not forget all the questions. Of course, all of you want to know about SimCube 3, and let me say this first. We are very sorry. There is a lot of misunderstanding, and we will solve this, at least as far as we can answer these questions tonight. As we developed together with SimCube, we have, I think, a very deep insight, maybe more than most of other manufacturers. So there's a lot to explain, but yes, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Well, my background, as you see, gray hair, I'm the old guy. And shortly my background is I leaded several, or mainly two big companies. And then when I was 45, I lived my dream. And together with my family, together with Kolja, his sister and my wife, we sailed around the world for 6 years in a row on a sailboat. And after the dream, I restarted working. Kolja finished his studies. And to be honest, I had no clue about sim racing. But suddenly you popped up and you started to sim race after doing something different. And after a while you said, wow, all these wheels are not really making me totally happy. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I started.
And like most of you at the beginning, I said, wow, these people must be crazy paying so much money for that stuff. And I was crazy about Kolja spending so much of his money for sim racing. And so we come to the start. So 4.5 years ago, Kolja started the company alone, and he was pretty successful for over 2 years doing it alone. And 3 years ago, he approached me and he introduced me into sim racing. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Down the rabbit hole it goes.
Absolutely. So before I never was in touch with rim racing. I have a certain background with race cars, as my ex-company did the test sites for Formula One engines, or this was one of the things we did. So I was in touch with racing already, and I was really from the first moment, it totally took me sitting there driving the car, and after 5 minutes you think you are in a real car and driving. I really enjoyed, like all of you. So thanks to Kolja, I came to sim racing 3 years ago, even an old guy like me, and I really enjoy it. Doing it is with friends. I never race alone. I'm racing like most of you, I suppose, with friends, and we are having lots of fun. So that's my background.
Yeah, I think everything's said there.
So if there's another question, a topic what we wanted to explain a little bit more, because as we said, we want to familiarize with you, know more about you, and letting you know more about us. So thank you for the cool journey. It was absolutely best thing of my life, I would say, beside being now partner of Kolja. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's true. So maybe also to show you a little bit the distribution between both of us. So what are you doing? Kolja decides, by the way, so he's the real boss of the company. But what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm the lead designer here, so all the wheels you guys are enjoying went through my hands, and I design pretty much everything, including CAD design up to the electronic, etc. software. That's all done by me.
Yeah, but not only that. You also take care
what
about
did I miss?
Production.
Yeah, okay.
You control production. You control good part of the purchase. All I would say the sophisticated. The simple parts I'm allowed to purchase and to order, but all the sophisticated stuff you are ordering. Yeah, that's true. And my part is the management. The commercial side of the business is the leading maybe our employees. Yes, so not the bright shiny part, more the part behind, but well, that's also because I'm not capable. He's the one.
Yeah, I think that sounds quite good what we're doing. Dan had an interesting question. Hello, what's the best sim out there and why is it LMU? Yeah, tough one, because I personally did not really race LMU. I mean, I don't really race too much lately, trying again since a month to do more racing, but I'm the iRacing main guy here. You drive mainly LMO, and then we always have a little bit of a conversation which sim is better, but
absolutely
it's iRacing, so end of the story. A question from Discord: when the customization are coming out in 2026, are you going to offer them to buy a wheel with only wishing customization? No, the customization will always be an optional part which you can buy out of simplicity. Also for our resellers, because they don't like when you have like so many variations of a wheel, and that's why we do the wheel as it is. And then you can buy this as an add-on, because you can also maybe change later when your mind changes, when you maybe like this better than the other. But it's always our philosophy. We try to do it at a nice price, because we don't want to make much money of customization. We just want you that you have more fun of the wheel, because I think it's nice when you have a wheel and you maybe race with it like over a year, like we did it with the Alpha, and then we bring, you know, different colored knobs or whatever, and then it changes the whole wheel basically.
Yeah, and if I may add, that's absolutely true. And also from the managing point, to explain, as everybody knows, I hope so at least, we are based in Bavaria, in Regensburg, which is not the best place maybe to build racing wheels, because we have no unemployment here. The unemployment rate in Regensburg is 0.8%. So it's hard to find skilled people to work for us, and we produce 100% here in Regensburg, but we only sell 20% of our wheels in Germany, another 20% in Europe, and over 60% around the world. Big market, of course, is the US, but also Asia is strong. Australia is a very strong market, UK, France. So we have racers everywhere. But coming back to what Kolja said is that's the reason why we try to keep the wheel simple at the beginning and then to offer options afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna throw away the comment. I mean, up to you. You can also hang it at the wall and have it as a little decoration, but that's up to you. I mean, that's completely fine. But then you were asking an actually serious question though, how difficult did you find designing the SC3 stuff compared to your normal wheels?
That's a good one.
Yeah. So
I'm really curious.
I mean, it could have been less work. It was quite a lot of work because, like, of course you don't have to design microcontroller and stuff like that, but I mean, in the end, then you know it as I do. You do once the work, then it's copy paste for another wheel. And the SimCube stuff was all new and a lot of tracing work. So yeah, let's put it like this: I'm happy that I'm done with the first wheel.
But maybe to really make it clear, because this question was raised several times during the past 24 hours, it's a total different wheel. You have to design the wheel twice. Afterwards, we will show the Delta Pro and the Delta Pro SC. They look familiar, they look very similar, but they are 200% different wheels, so double work.
Yeah, that's completely right. Right. It's not time to go at Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is over already, right?
No, I think this weekend
This
is last
weekend?
weekend. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah, but
the
no.
downsides.
This is working. You know, we have to go on expo. And Dan, what's the best sim racing wheel manufacturer? Why is it BavarianSimTec? Yeah, Dan did not respond to that question. Unfortunate.
Am I allowed to say a few words on that? I think there are some wheel manufacturers which are not so good. But I like to compare us to the car industry, and let's stay on the German car industry. I would say you cannot say if Audi, Mercedes or BMW, to take these three, which one is better. It's choice.
Yeah.
So there are manufacturers like, just to mention, Ascher, GSI, which definitely are doing fantastic wheels, and I think we are doing some great wheels too. So it's more choice, I would say, and maybe some other little details. But there are many good wheel manufacturers besides us.
Right. So, will I be able to use my Delta on SC3 and other bases, or will there be two separate versions? Yeah, I mean, we can start also talking a bit more about the Delta SC, I guess. I mean, we actually have two more other questions, I think. To be one of the first user clients in Portugal, best wheel in the world. Thank you so much. Glad to have you on board. Since when do you have your wheel, and what wheel is it? What would you say are the core values, technical or human, behind your business that makes it unique as a company and in the world of sim racing? Well, Loic is bringing some really good questions. Yeah, what are our core values? Yeah, I think our core values is, I mean, every company says that, and probably also true to many others, but like, we do everything by passion. Like, we do this because we have a lot of fun, and we want to do this by having fun. I think that's our main value. Our target is never to, like, you know, make the most money out of this, whatever. Like, everybody likes money, of course, but in the end we want to have fun what we're doing. So we want to do the best wheels, and for us often there's like not really, like, of course some compromises you always have to do, but we will, you know, we'll try to make the best wheel we can, and like what's in my head and what I can bring to the drawing table. Yeah, and I think other core values are also like our atmosphere here with our employees. We when we hire people, of course, their skill sets needs to be there, but we also want them to be like that they fit in the atmosphere here. So we have a really, really good atmosphere here in the office. I think I would say these are our core values, besides making the best wheels. I hope Dan didn't listen. Could you please lower the background music a bit? Yeah, for sure I can. Okay, I lowered it a bit. Let me know if that's better. Freddy also had a good question, I believe. Maybe it was already asked. Would you maybe join forces with GSI Dan in that sense to convince SimQ opening the protocol to all manufacturers? I mean, for sure, I was in Dan's stream a couple of hours ago, and I know they talked about it, and I'm completely on their side that saying that, especially for screen-less wheels, it's probably quite doable making some kind of solution. Which is built, for example, into the QR or something, which translates the signal. One thing we need to have a look at is power consumption, because the SimQ wheels, they use a different LED structure. They use multiplexing on their LEDs, which consumes a lot less LED power and the overall power consumption of the wheel, and that's very limited on the SimQ 3. So we need to see how that works, but in the end, I'm fully on board with every other manufacturer when it comes to maybe opening the protocol or making as many wheels compatible with SC3 as possible. Okay, Dan cannot answer because he's scared of being fired. So there will be no upgrade kits for existing wheels, as Klaus said. The Delta is two completely different versions. Yeah, so as now there will be no upgrade kits for screen wheels, for sure not. Like the upgrade kit, just what's in my brain would be so big and would cost that much that I think it would be cheaper actually getting a new wheel. For wheels which have no screen, it's up to SimQ. Of course, I do not have a lot of influence on that part, but maybe it's doable. So I think future will tell. Yeah, should we continue with more questions, or should we start also?
Yeah,
because we had already multiple questions about the Delta SC. I got one more question from Julian. Do you got some thoughts about the GSI PowerLink USB QR? I just seen it being announced yesterday on their Discord, and I mean, looks really promising what they're telling. So I hope they succeed with it and make one kind of standard. Like, I'm in contact with Dan a lot because we are different manufacturers, of course, and we are competitors, but we're also friends, and we talk a lot. How can we make things easier for you? And that's a goal we want to achieve, especially next year. But this year we're already starting with the Delta. All the Deltas have a USB-C connector on the rear. So there's still the JST, but there's also USB-C, and it has an auto switch mechanism built in. So if you plug you could even plug two in, like an active QR and the lumbar connector at the same time, and the wheel would work. So yeah, that's our mission. That we make it, as easy for our customers, for you, as possible.
But what maybe also fits into what you just said, Kolja, and what you ask is that this spring, and seriously starting in May, we contacted all main wheelbase manufacturers and worked closely together with them to develop real pass-through technology. And I just mentioned all the names. It's of course SimQ, there's Delta, which is a special case, but it's Azatec, where we offer a QR now since 4 years, which is working perfectly with more than, I think, 600 QRs or 600 of our wheels running on that QR.
Yep.
But also Simagic, VRS, VNM, and Moza now.
Yeah.
And Moza and the new expected SimLab wheelbase,
SimLab
right?
wheelbase, yeah.
So we're working closely with these manufacturers, and we will offer for our wheels a pass-through technology. also for the existing wheels. This will be available also for the Alpha, for the Omega Pro V2, Omega Pro V1, and even for the Omega 1, because we will, we developed the cables, the GST to USB-A or C connecting cables, and very soon, I hope in November, we will be able to supply these cables so you can enjoy all these wheelbases which are pass-through capable. And let me just show you. I'm just walking around.
And now I'm all alone.
Yeah, why not taking the wheelbase as well? So we have here the Symmetric wheelbase, and we have another one, even stronger one. And this, for example, I don't know how good you can see it. That's the quick release, and that's our cable, which now we ordered or in mass production. So this is the JST connector connecting to our wheel, and in this way it's 100% pass-through compatible. And we started to develop this starting with this in May, and we will roll out in November explanations, manuals and videos how all our wheels and also the old ones will work pass-through or with pass-through technology.
Exactly.
Anything I missed?
No, that's the goal. Like, we want to make it as easy as possible for you. That's why there will be also a video series coming after the expo, and we'll show you how to connect every of our wheels to pretty much every base on the market. And we will target the goal that on every package there's the cable for every wheelbase, like at least which we support on our website. So for you it's just plug and play. I think Dan already answered a question that SC3 wheels at the moment they're not compatible with SimHub, and unfortunately also that's nothing in our power. What is the difference in feeling between the Alpha grips and the Delta? That's a good one, because of course we also want to make our wheels a little bit different. So I think to make it really short, the Delta has a little bit thinner grips, a little bit smaller, but I think still extremely ergonomic. Could you just pass me one? Maybe the one without screen, because it's
okay. Let's start with this one
handle.
with the Pulse. So Delta Pulse.
Exactly. So on this, like all Deltas obviously share exactly the same grips. Of course, our 13-degree slope cut here, which just works beautifully, and your thumb is really tucked in there. As you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it from there, unfortunately. We should have set another camera up. But
Next time.
The silicon goes far above the aluminum, so there's absolutely no chance of scratching your gloves or your thumbs. And at the bottom here, it's actually something new. We will show it more on the expo. We didn't really have time to show it yet, but you see this little notch coming out. The grip goes a little bit to the outside here, and it has another angled cut on here, which your palm rests beautifully on. And when you turn, it also pushes you a little bit around the corner. I think that's something super cool, which you will be able to try out on the expo, because that's the first time people will actually get the chance to put hands on the Delta. I hope this answered a little bit difference in feeling between the Alpha and the Delta.
May I add a little comment from my side? I have very large hands, so I'm really happy with all three wheels. I have to say, privately at home, I drive the Alpha, not the Omega Pro V2. I just love that wheel. I don't know if we have now more time after the expo. What I personally, and now maybe I jump in without asking a question, what I adore about the Delta, and well, prior to this, I open another part, is when Kolja, and it's always him, or how, maybe this is also interesting for you, how we develop a new wheel. It's for a month we talk. We only talk, we don't design, nothing. We just talk about what could we do, what is still missing, is there anything we could improve, or is there anything both of us also like? Sorry, we are passionate. We do wheels we both love. And So we discussed about a lot of things, and then Kolja started to design the wheel, and I see him drawing it on the doing the cut design, and the first drawings, I must say, I wasn't happy at all. I didn't like it, but the more he succeeded, the more you designed, and the more you explained me why, I started to love it. And maybe now this is also my favorite one. What I just adore, and then I finished, is this. And what we explained, is, come on, you don't need buttons and controls everywhere. At least at my skills, I need them up here. Easy to reach, even in a curve. Maybe a perfect driver can reach everywhere the buttons. So that's what I like about
nobody
Delta.
can. Like that's just strong point of the Delta is the. But let's try to catch up with some questions.
Sorry.
Because we're starting to miss some, and we want to answer your questions. How will the Delta compare to Usher Ultimate? So Ultimate, so you mean like, I guess our screen version? Could you pass me the screen version? Like let's put more deltas on the table.
Yep.
You can never have enough deltas. Right there it is. So how would this compare to the Usher Ultimate? So first of all, both great wheels. I mean, pretty similar. Like personally, we have this one thumb total control thing, so all the buttons up here, which just makes sense when you think about it, because it does not make sense to have any buttons down here. Yeah, our grips are better, and that's it. Is the grip softer or harder or same as the Alpha? It's the same, but the formula is a little bit different. We'll always, try, like, when we make a wheel, of course, at one point you have to stick to, like, that's the formula you choose, and that's how your wheel being manufactured. And there's so many things, you need to think about, like the texture of the mold, the coating which goes onto the grip on the end, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, at one point we have to stick, like, this is what we're gonna do for the Alpha now. But in the meantime, we of course, continue development and trying more stuff and more stuff. So same hardness, same material, but slightly different texture and slightly different coating. But nothing significant. Like, I'm not telling you you'll be faster now because of this. You need to make the wheel purple to be faster. Everybody knows that. Can't wait to test these out next week. Yeah. Glad to have you on our booth when you come over. Can you already estimate whether the Delta will be delivered in January? Are you talking about the SimoCube versions or our version? Because our versions will be still delivered this year, expecting beginning of December, as it's written on our website. And the Delta Pro SC version, we are estimating somewhere in Q1, with a small chance of still making it this year. But I'm not gonna talk much about that, because otherwise people will annoy me when when we can't deliver.
Maybe there's a little more than a small chance.
Okay. Can you customize the Delta SC wheel if you buy as a bundle through SimoCube? What do you mean with customized? There's currently no customization on the wheel. We will bring the customization kit in 2026 for the Delta, and that of course also works when you buy it through SimoCube. Then of course in 2026 you can buy the customizing kit from us, and then you could put it on your wheel. The Delta looks tiny. We to be honest, I expected it to be even more tiny compared to the Alpha. In the end, it's not that big of a difference, I would say. It's like a little bit slimmer. If we put both at roughly the same, it's like a little bit slimmer in the middle part. Width, they're both the same. You said the grips are thicker than the Alpha. In which areas, in depth or width? No, you misunderstood me. No, they're smaller. They're thinner.
It's thinner, yeah. But minimal.
I mean, you have them roughly side by side here. It's of course super easy, but I think you see like the Alpha, it's a little bit more curved, while the Delta is a little bit more flat on the side. Just both works good. It's of course hard to say what works better for you. I mean, that's of course only comes with testing. But I think you can see that they're a little bit thinner. Can you already answer? Okay, TH's question was regarding the SimCube version. Yeah, so we answered you somewhere between end of 2025 and beginning 2026. Can you show the shifter sound? Maybe if they are louder or quieter than the alpha? Oh, they're more quiet. They're more quiet. I think the newest version only this one has.
We have one more.
Yeah, we have one more. This is the Delta SC. This is the newest evolution of shifters on here. They're way more quiet than the alpha. I'm not sure. I think this one has. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but this one has. I don't know if it has damper on or not, but these are like. I hope that answers, like, I hope you could hear it, but they're way more quiet. These are our new shifters. We call them like next gen quick shifter because they have like not a lot of throw, if you can see it. Maybe we need to put it down here, but you can see they don't have a lot of throw. They are dampened multiple times. They're really quiet, but they're still tactile because that was the challenge. I think someone before probably is gone already because we missed this question. I was asking if the shifters bend. No, they do absolutely not. Like, you can press them as hard as you want. They do not bend because when we developed the shifters, we actually tested out various damping materials and they bent like a lot. It was like a squishy feeling, which is not premium. So we tackled all these issues. So I have the Omega Pro V1 and the grip is better a lot than Usher. Well, if you think those are better than the Usher, then our new ones are for sure also better for you than the Usher. We really put like a lot of thoughts into our grips. I don't know, sometimes now we start to throw them away, but like each grip redesign is being printed, like not lying, at least like 50 times, making small tweaks, and then we actually drive with those grips, so they're printed strong enough to be drivable, and we drive with them, and then in the end it's really hard because then we have like version 20, 30, 35 and 50, and then we need to decide on which do we manufacture, which is always, I think that's the hardest part in the end.
Well, maybe there now share some internals with you. That's really sometimes really a tough game with Kolja. He's called in the company and I'm calling him Mr. not 105, Mr. 110%. Sometimes he drives me nuts, I think already these grips, to take the example of the grips, but I can take many other details of the wheels are perfect and he's not satisfied. And we already said he's development and production and I'm management and money. And every new version, of course, costs. So that sometimes drives me nuts because you really sometimes exceed the needs.
Only the best.
But well, I must say I love the Alpha, I love the grips, and so maybe you're right.
All right, then we continue. I try to run down every question because that's what we're here for. I find the Omega grip, for example, too hard, and do not feel as well as the Alpha, so hope the Delta is closer to the Alpha. Which Omega do you have? Because of course on the Omegas we also had quite different grips and hardness, but yeah, the Delta are for sure very, very, very close to the Alpha grips. What's the difference between the next gen shifters and the ones from the Alpha and the Omega? Great question. What can we explain the best? So
maybe it's not now here the audience for going too much into detail.
I mean, we can super quickly run down the basic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Both are really good, just different.
Both are really good, just different. They look, of course, different. Kind of a unique design with the big magnets and not sitting like on top here, so on the other side of the axis. I think, they're full contactless, which is nice because you don't have rear, but we do not really have any issues with our micro switches in the other units, so they're perfectly fine as well. One huge pro for this is that they're being screwed from the outside. So for example, we will in 2026 also offer only a shifter version, and then maybe if you want to upgrade in the future, it's super easy doable. Or God knows if something happens with the shifter, which of course will not happen, but if something happens, then it's, you know, super easily serviceable for you. Screen size, Omega versus Delta, both have the same size. Both are 4.3 inch screens. Can the dash be disabled if you run VR, for example? Yeah, of course. If you ask, like, it's difficult now because we always have to differ between SimCube or not SimCube. SimCube, to be honest, I have no idea, but probably it's like easily doable. If you use SimHub or very soon our pit stop app, which will support screens, of course, you can turn it off if you don't want it. Delta SimCube Edition still has a USB on the back, so if I could use it with an ASIC base, for example, yes, the Delta SC, which we can show
here.
here.
Is it? And I hope you can see it. There's the USB-C plug.
Yes, it's still a half prototype,
Yes.
this one, but yeah, there's a USB-C plug, so you can use it via USB. Only restriction there, at the moment, not SimHub compatible, so you will need to run Tuner. Are the stickers for the multi-link encoders exchangeable? Yeah, they are. First time on our wheels, we also worked there really long on our solution. It was probably, you say again, I exceeded, whatever. Yeah, so that will be in the customizing kit in 2026. And you will basically have this, so the carbon plate, you can easily screw it off with a couple of screws. And then we have a latch system on our decals and a new adhesive, which is easy to peel off. So you can just grab it, pull it off. And then in the customizing one, there's a new one in, which has like no text printed on there. You can put on that one. And then we have another sheet, which is in the customizing kit, which is transparent with the letters printed in black. And then you can put it on one by one as you like it. So full control over the lettering on the front. And for some people in the chat, there's also a TC3 sticker. Just saying. Okay. Should I continue? Because I sit closer to the monitor.
You are taking the lead, which is absolutely fine. May I just add, we are even thinking about having different layouts of the design of the stickers, and we are still deciding with our manufacturers also for the front, having different types of carbon, maybe also having colored carbon and aluminum, or maybe Gorilla Glass. So we are experimenting at the moment with many different surfaces. It's not yet decided. I think will come more Q2 2026 than Q1.
Yeah. Okay. Dan actually saw in his review about the Alpha that you have two, I think, controllers on your PCB, something like that. Can you explain why you did that? Yeah, so why we did this is why we went for two microcontrollers is an easy thing because we communicate with them via serial communication, and you can only have one connection to our like MCU at a time. So if you would only use the pit stop app, that's totally fine. Then it would work with one. But since we also like want to have our wheels perfectly usable in SimHub and the pit stop app, and the pit stop app, you know, to change like, some controls, we invest the extra money to have two, because then you can use both at the same time. So we could do one and save some costs, but yeah, we are proud of our multi design at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And if I might add and address directly to Dan, when you reviewed our Alpha, thank you very much, by the way, fantastic review, and when you open it, as that's your absolutely strengths, and I think you are the master for that, and what you say for us definitely has a lots of value, and it's very valued, your comments. I'm already eager to see your face, and I would love when you do it live, when you open the Delta. if you like the Alpha, it's such an evolution. I think the Delta inside has a lot more of improvements than from outside. Inside, it's really a different way of building a wheel, and I'm curious to see Dan when I think in a few weeks.
So don't give away too much now. There was a lot of work developing this. So
okay, well Dan will do in any case.
Okay, then we have another question. Can you add magnets to the shifters? Do you? Of course, there are magnets already on the shifters, obviously. But if you can put additional ones on top, for example, to make them, stronger or like harder to actuate, yes, of course, you could do that.
Why?
Then ask, will the dampers fall off, run away? Yeah. No, they will not fall off anymore, and I'm really happy about that, because I can totally understand that for some customers it was a pain, but for us it was also because there was like damper gate, which we had, which we don't have anymore, thankfully. But yeah, no, they will not fall off anymore. Really happy about that. Is the front plate glued additionally or just screwed?
Yeah.
The carbon plate is only screwed because, easy to take off when you want to change the sticker, and the sticker is obviously glued into place. It's, by the way, from Matthias. Hi.
Hello Matthias.
Are the deltas delivered pre-stickered? Depends what you mean pre-stickered. Delivered pre-stickered. The main decal is basically, as you can see it here, hard to see, but it's printed already with numbers on, and the multi-switch is already labeled. But for example, we have those beautiful new, what's the real name? Like, we call them gel dome stickers. They have they have some plastic above them, a bit of like glue basically. They are not pre-applied, but they're like CNC milled slots for them, so you can perfectly align them. And the buttons obviously are also not applied because you need to figure out your perfect setup. That's why you have the qualities others don't. Thank you very much. Me too, the Alpha is just perfect. Lovely to hear. Okay. People happy about our quality. We like that. The Delta's dash will accept external dash developers like Lovely Dashboard or Daniel Newman Racing. Like, we are happy for every dashboard developer doing something with our wheels. Like, we work very closely with Daniel, and super looking forward, to having his dashes running our wheel. We'll also hopefully get the time more to talk with Constantino from Lovely Dash. As soon as we have like a little bit of breathing space again, we'll definitely invest into that. And we're working on our own dash, which will be now full blown up dash, but that's only for the pit stop app. Will the DDO5 be back in stock soon? Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain. We are sorry about that, but there was suddenly a very high demand this summer for the DDO5. We didn't expect that one. That's why we are sold out. So really, suddenly the demand picked up. I don't know why. And that's why we are sold out at the moment. And as other manufacturers can tell you, it takes time. It's not produced in days. Just to tell you, we now order the aluminum parts and the milling for first and second quarter 2026. So about 6 months, 7 months in advance. So it's not that you can respond within weeks. There are fixed dates, but I expect the DDU to be back in stock definitely this month and in great numbers.
Sounds good. Dan is happy about his TC3. Maybe we should remove it again.
Yeah.
Aluminum in the same color as the rest of the aluminum here? Yeah, of course. Like, the aluminum will have the same finish as the wheel itself. I think everything else would look kind of weird. And we are also very much for minimalistic looks, I would say. We don't like, too much fancy stuff. So will there be a new Omega wheel? Nope, no plans for this at the moment. The Omega is not very old. It's out since 1 year.
1 year.
We launched
yes.
it basically on the Expo last year, so 1 year. No, it will stay there for a little bit longer.
Well, more than that, just to say, we just, and Dan is just reviewing it, I know, and we just have now the first review out. That's how we normally launch a wheel. Maybe I tell you something there from inside our company. So it starts that Kolja designs a new wheel. Then we do the first prototypes in-house, 3D printed. We test if all the measurements are okay. We try already to do the first electronics. We test it. Then we do a first 10 samples from our real manufacturers. These are really the first, I would say, the alpha versions. After that, we have another 20 to 30, depending on the wheel, prototypes, which we also send out to sim racers. We have there a few which race 8 hours a day. So if they use the wheel for a week, that's a big testing for us. And when these are good, then we go to mass production. And at the beginning, we normally do no marketing, no reviews, because we try to see if there are any mistakes, if the market accepts the wheel. And right now, we are just exiting that phase with the Omega Pro V2. Till now, there were no reviews, there was no marketing, and so far we delivered 400 units of that wheel. Now we are really entering the real serious phase of the wheel. Now the Omega Pro V2 and the Alpha will definitely stay for 2025 and 2026.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward for Dan's review. Yeah, we all are doing it. Like, I always love to watch Dan his review because they're like technical, and you know, when he opens the wheels and geeks, then I geek also behind the screen. So that's like quite funny. With the Delta coming with addressable rotary encoders, including custom decals for each position, will there be a similar decal to give the Alpha similar functionality? Okay, I wanted to say no for sure. The Alpha is a little bit different because, you know, the it doesn't has the white patches. It has like only the lettering. You know, with being translucent, so we would need to change the design quite a lot of the front. I mean, I would put it like this: never say never. So. All right, Omega with SC3QR. I mean, sorry. Yeah, as we said in the SimoCube presentation, our plan is to bring our whole lineup to SimoCube Link. That also obviously includes the Omega Pro V2. Can you also map buttons, do a different action when switching the multi-encoders, so like a shift map, or only the thumb rotaries? At the moment, only the thumb rotaries, but in the end, it's just a software thing, and like limitation on how many outputs you can send via USB. That's kind of the thing, because you can maximum send off 128 outputs via USB, and we're kind of maxing it out at the moment, so we have to see, but that's for sure something to raise on our Discord, and we can make a poll about it if people, you know, want to select a button which also changes its mapping when changing the multi-link. Functions, maybe set 1 or 2 encoders to a shifter would be awesome. Yeah, sure, why not? All possibility. Yeah, I think we should, because we also need to leave at one point. It's getting quite late here. Please, some have done already. We have skipped them for now. If you have questions about SimoCube, the Delta SC version, please bring them up. We'll happily answer anything we can do, and to make the whole situation a bit more clearer. Ray asked, so on the back of the Delta wheels, is it still a ZH connection? Will you guys be able to include cables to USB-C for power pass? We were thinking of VS drivers like myself. Ray, maybe you were not tuned in. We're working with every wheelbase manufacturer now really, really closely. Like, we're working close with VRS. We have multiple of their wheelbases here they sent to us very kindly. And all our wheels, like with the next iteration, the Omega and Alpha do not have it at the moment, but with the Delta we started, they all have USB-C on the rear. They still have a JST, which is the main connector from the lumbar to the wheel, but they have a JST. They have a USB-C connector on the rear, and it's auto switching. So it doesn't matter what you plug in. You don't have to unplug anything. Everything works all the time.
But to wrap it up, all our wheels, starting from the Omega 1 we built 4 years ago, are ready for USB pass-through, and we will deliver for every model cable which makes them pass-through compatible.
Yeah, true. I forgot to mention that. On our older wheels, you have to unplug the JST, put a new one in, but we'll supply cables for everything because we want it to be as easy as possible for you. So again, will I be able to use my Delta SC3 with other bases as well? Yes. Short answer, yes. It additionally has also a USB-C plug on the rear and is USB capable. So you could also mount like an AZTEC QR onto that wheel or a SimMagic or whatever and connect that, and it will be also wireless. The only thing at the moment you need to take into account is at the moment the wheel does not work in SimHub if you want that. It also does not really work in our standalone Pitstop app. It only works in Tuner, but Tuner has part of our Pitstop app integrated. So yes, but with some minor limitations. James, thank you for your time for doing this. Blessings. James, thank you very much. Always like to chat with you on Discord. You always have such a positive vibe. That's really cool. Ray's happy. Yeah, Ray, like just as soon as we have the cables here, just let us know. We can for sure send you one, and then it's, super easy to just quickly swapping it. Freddie asking, what is your background?
Yeah.
Did you learn anything on the fly? Did you learn everything on the fly, or did you study something in the direction of electrical engineering or similar? No, you got it right. I learned everything on the fly basically. So at the time I was starting with sim racing. I was in university and I was studying computer science. But university in Germany is very boring and dry. And so I quickly, started building my own wheels because I bought a 3D printer, did my own wheels first, but they were all blueprints from the internet. And I wanted to do my own wheel, so that was the Omega 1, and on the Omega 1, it was literally the first file I created, and that's basically what ended up as the Omega 1 in the end. So I learned everything on the fly. At first, I didn't want to do the electronic stuff on the board, and we hired a guy to do that, and in the end, he ripped us off because what he delivered was not working, and it was quite a lot at that time and really hurt us. But it was actually the best thing which could have happened, because at that moment I had to do everything on my own and learn it, and I think it saved us a lot by now, because it makes everything so easy, quick changes, etc.
And especially as now you can multiply your knowledge to our employees.
Yes.
Now we have people supporting you in developing, and especially in the software on the software side. So that would not be possible if you would do it outside the company. So because you started it and you know it best, you can now teach others how to do it the way we like to do it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's kind of my story. Tony writes, "Your dad is so proud of you."
Yeah.
By the way, as a dad, I see it as actions and words. So Tony is probably
Not
really
true.
good at reading people.
Not true.
Yikes. It's Dan, I knew it. Yeah, Dan also can do a lot of stuff. Are you search for
Yeah.
other developers? Yeah, we are always constantly searching. We are a big growing team. We are now 12 people, excluding our software team in Malaysia, because that's actually where he sits. Not sure if Ian is watching. Ian, if you're watching, hi. But it's probably he's sleeping at the moment. But yeah, we are actively searching, and there will be also on the expo. We'll have a nice sign for people to join us. Another impressive story. As an engineer, I recognize this achievement. Steve, thank you very much. What are you doing? What are you engineering? When do you hire Dan? Dan does not want to move to Bavaria, so that's the problem. What is the biggest thing you learned going from the 1 to the Delta? I think there's one super easy answer for that, right? Where it's just how you build a wheel, and not how you build a wheel, how you make a wheel, so it's easy to manufacture and not a lot of mistakes can happen. So I think that's the easiest thing to tell. So we went down, from a huge build time on the Omega 1, which sometimes even took me
No,
one,
no.
2
We
days.
don't mention. We don't.
It was
mention
long,
that. We don't-
but yeah, we have come down significantly from that. So I think that's the biggest thing I can take away from that. He works for an American company from Stuttgart area. Come on, no issue at all. Yeah, you need to put your complaints towards them. I think we also try to come to an end
Yeah,
at one point, because it's
absolutely.
getting late. Is it possible to buy SC3 with Omega together on your website? It could save shipment for me buying from 2 different places. You could, but do you want, like, I have to
Why
ask you,
not?
do you
No,
want this?
Why not? Yes, of course. The best thing is just send us in this case, as we don't know when we want to spread it out, and as everybody knows, the availability of the SC3 is still very limited, but we can say we have stock, and but we are not allowed to ship before November. But send us an email, and we will find a solution, definitely.
For sure, but keep in mind that the Omega then will be wired. So there
Yeah,
will be a
of
wired
course.
connection. At the moment, the Omega does not work wireless with the SimCube 3. I want to mention it because I see other manufacturers offering bundles with all their wheels and blah blah blah, and they're not really telling you it's a wired connection, which I
Yeah.
think is really not good, tricking
Yeah.
people like that. So I want to make it super clear that at the moment only the Delta SC works wireless. All the other wheels you could connect, but it's wired. Ray, yeah, those live builds on Twitch took a while. Yeah, they did. Do you still remember that time? It was a fun time. I wish I could also do it again. I was always like, why does Gomez from GSI not stream anymore? It's not that much work. Blah blah blah. Now I understand why. I understand. It's just time is so little, so much to do. Unfortunately, no time for that anymore. Our wives complain at Dan because he makes us all buy stuff. Yeah,
Not our problem,
not our not our problem.
but definitely, I think we should now come to an end. And I would love to place one last question to all of you. Do you like this format? Should we continue this? Then leave us a note, please. This was a first try, and that's why we didn't announce it that much. We thank you all very much for having this meeting with us, for staying with us. Thank you so much. And if you like, we could do this maybe once a month, something like that.
Yeah, just
Because there's really a lot to tell and lots of funny stories also. Some you would normally call them in a movie outtakes.
yeah.
Why not share this with you? There's nothing to hide. Would be a pleasure.
Yeah, and also just maybe to geek a little bit about hardware and tell more thoughts behind it. it was. I would just go through 2 more questions which just popped in. Because I don't want to leave people, without having the questions answered. Is there an exact date when Omega will work with SA3? No, there is no date at the moment. We hope maybe for next year, but I cannot give you a date at the moment.
Sorry, we even cannot guarantee.
That's what means I can't give you a date.
I want to just be open. We're always fair.
And last one was, which is nice because, again, for our employees, what qualifications do your employees have? I'm not sure, do you mean what they need to have, what they have? What they have, they're all super passionate sim racers. They love sim racing, and that's the key thing, because if you love what you do it right. So that's for us.
But if this goes in the direction, we always search for good people. We are continuously growing. We will have a big ad on the expo, for example, searching for people. That's the bottleneck, at least in Regensburg, to find good people, skilled people, passionate, which share our passion and which fits our team. That's very important to us. You can be the best employee, you can be the best technician. If you don't fit to the team, it might not work.
Exactly. And on that note, we end the stream. Thank you all so much for being here. It was really
absolutely.
I was not knowing maybe there would be one person showing up and we would sit here and maybe just talk together.
Grandma.
So thank you all very, very much for being here and for your questions. And if we can do this once a month, it would be super nice if you all join again. Maybe we have different stories from the expo, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
wishing from my side, thank you so much.
Yeah, wishing you a great evening, day, whatever.
Enjoy racing.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.